Well, good morning. My dogs are running right down wow, they are really rocking and rolling. Whoa, they almost knocked over my tripod here. They leapt in between it and a uh, gas canister. Uh, Close. We're getting a little spring in the air. Well, AI has been rocking and rolling. It's hard for me to talk about it this week because there was so much stuff happening with it that it kind of overwhelmed me. Uh, Runway had new videos that look amazing. Anthropic came out with their upgraded Sonnet, not even their Opus yet, which is their high-end one. Their upgraded Sonnet, and it's squirrels, squirrels. Look. Anyway, and that was not the end of it. There's been many amazing changes. Oh, Opus. Sorry, not Opus, but Claude and uh, also released the ability to add an AI to allow it to actuate uh, desktop information. It's like, wow, the demos have been amazing. But there's also been a little bit of pouring the water on things about realizing how difficult training things like language models and video models and stuff like that, and it is training humans. The cost involved with training a human is so minimal. And that sounded horrible, but just hold on just a minute. You birth a human and they cost money because you have to buy them clothes, you have to give them food, you have to give them a room, you have to give them attention. There are many things that children need as they grow up, especially if you want them to be well developed. Baloo, stop it. Baloo! Let's see if he stopped. Hopefully. All right, he seems to be coming back. Go! Okay. Anyway, so, but all that to create a human that can be a craftsman, could be a scientist, could be a teacher, teach other humans. The amount of cost involved is small. However, the big difference between the cost of artificial intelligence that you spend much, much more, they're talking on the order of billions, is it can be replicated. So once you created one, you can copy paste it onto lots of other stuff. It has a scale factor. And that's the most crucial part. is the ability to scale. So that's a good topic for this video. Scale. Let me talk a little bit about how in software, how great scaling is. I, it has been one of those real eye-opening things. I used to work at a very small company, and they had a big project, and they used to have software that ran on a desktop, and they got a couple big contracts, and me and another guy, he was primarily, of the two of us, he was the senior engineer. I was a little junior. I was actually very new to programming. I had been an electrical engineer and I switched over to programming. And we discussed the construction of the software that had actually been done by two other guys. And when we discussed the construction, we noticed the ability to uh, replicate and scale it out so that we could run multiples and have multiple streams of data being analyzed and then combining. Um, I was put in charge of uh, creating the data streams. He worked on the post analysis stuff. And then there was a couple of other guys that worked on developing the server number of servers and how we would do the round robin effects and drop things out when they fail and then recover them. And man, once we had it done, it was so good. I remember, and to this day, this is something that I've worked at bigger companies and I don't think they would be as well done. I remember coming in on a Monday morning and we had 8 servers for a New York project. And the guy that's in our tech support area, he said, "Oh, 2 of the servers died." Huh. And he says, so they got dropped out of the loop, failed off, nothing was, no data was lost, and everything was fine, but they want us to investigate why the 2 servers died. Nobody got interrupted on the weekend. Nobody got called at whatever time the servers died. And I think it was like a Saturday or something like that. And we just processed it later. And that's the niceness. If you do the scale correctly, sometimes things like that will happen and what happened, the analysis was that those were virtual servers and 6 of the servers were on one VM farm and the other 2 were in another VM farm. And that's what happened was the other ones on that VM farm, there were problems. We continue to have a lot of problems with that VM farm. There's something strange about it. But anyway, the point is, a lot of times, if you scale things out, you can improve things. Or in this case, if you got something good, if you can replicate it a million times, that good thing, you don't have to charge $1 million for. You can charge $100 for because it's been replicated. Now, then you're probably doing the math like, well, you were going to charge $1 million for one and $100 for a million of them. That's $100 million. Boy, you're making a lot of profit. There is a lot of profit. But remember, as you scale things, there is maintenance and there is support and there is other things that go along. Scaling is not free, but it can be very, very beneficial. All right. So, AI scaling, one of the things that I I've been so my number one AI right now is Claude Anthropic from Anthropic. Um, ChatGPT is number two. Uh, Not been impressed by Google Gemini and X. X is starting to get there. I must the biggest problem with X right now is that the user interface is a little bit not as clean as some of the other guys, but it's getting better and it has gotten better fast. So keep an eye on it. But my point was usage is what's crucial. If you got something good, like I said, got one to a million, well, guess what? Those million have to be usable. How do they get used? And that's my biggest question about usage. And I probably will do that in my next video. Hey, on a side note, the last one I did about window window ID. Um, did you ever, if you've ever seen Blade Runner and the little meetings they had with the replicants to see if they were human, that's what the World ID looked like. All right, you guys take care. Oh, Luna, did you hear the some drums over there? I think that the marching bands are over there playing. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. Bye.